Thanks for tuning in to the first episode of How Do I Do This on Shopify by Axiom State. And a huge shout out to Ziad from Daddy Day Club who gave me the idea for this first episode. If you haven't checked out their Shopify site, I highly recommend you do so. They have a great mission that's all about supporting dads following their ambitions even after fatherhood. In this video, we're going to go over how you can properly calculate your cost of goods and why it's important. So a couple reasons why it's important. One, if you give things away to influencers or partners for free, you can write those expenses off on your taxes. And it's not just the cost of manufacturing the goods, but as well as the overhead associated with it. Another huge reason is that if you give quite a bit of product away for free, whether it be samples or for partners or for influencers, you need to be sure that that's properly tracked in Shopify. So when you're projecting out for future sales, you know which goods were actually sold versus which ones were given away. Take a look and what we need to do. Once you're in products, go ahead and go to one of your products. If you scroll down, you'll see a section called price. You're going to click on cost per item, and you're going to see here that we have a cost of $1,423.33. Let me show you how we calculated this. So we assumed with that product that there is a $1,000 cost. Now when we calculate all of our other costs, including salaries for yourself, you take $100,000, software a year is $2,000, warehousing is $5,000, overhead is $20,000, which gives you a total expenses of $127K. Now you can also pull this information from your QuickBooks or wherever that you're tracking all of your expenses. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our total expenses and divide it by the overall revenue. This is going to give us an overhead expense rate, which is roughly 42%. You're going to take that 42%, apply it to the cost of $1,000 for the cost of manufacture. Now why is this important? Because you're going to write this off on your taxes, you could have gone from a $1,000 write-off to now a $1,400 write-off, which is a massive increase. Now, at the end of the year, you're typically going to deduct all your expenses anyways, but what this does is it gives you a better idea of how much you're actually giving away when you give your product. In the US, you are going to report all this to the IRS. However, if you're in Canada, you're going to report this on your T2125 form. Now, I caveat all of this by saying you need to check with your local tax professional to make sure this is all done correctly, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can start tracking the proper cost of goods sold within Shopify. Now, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe on our website, axiomstate.com, and you'll get notified every time there's a new tutorial video. If there's something that you want to know how to do on Shopify, shoot us an email with your idea and your URL, and we'll make the video on your account next. Thanks for following along, and I hope you found this helpful.